Do I do a whole intro? Do I do it? Hey, my name's... Well, I guess that means I gotta do a little intro situation.
Whatever feels natural.
Whatever feels natural. If I just met you,
Yeah, and I ain't doing
I don't be introducing myself to people I just met.
that.
I like you now.
You like me?
I go by many names sometimes.
What's up? It's your boy King.
I feel like I used to do that. It's your boy. What's up? It's your boy. And it always sounds. When I listen to it back, it sounds performative. I'm pretty sure when I talk to people, I've said it just like that a million times, and no one thinks anything of it. But when I hear it back, it's like nails on the chalkboard. How you doing? Hey, it's your boy. What's going down? Like it's all goofy. Just. But this footage is rolling. I'm wasting footage. Let me see. It's K, the Nomad. And today I'm telling the story of how we, and by we, I mean also Tibba the Nib, who is off screen right now.
Hello.
So the story of how we became nomads. So story would start back with us living in Jersey. We were living in Newark, New Jersey. Cool little basement apartment. Won't complain too much about it. People have had worse. We're gonna leave it at that for now. But it was cool for the time being. And then we got into a little discrepancy with the landlord company that we had. The landlord company was a landlord company. It wasn't like a little private landlord or one individual who owned the building. They owned, from what I heard, hundreds of buildings all throughout Newark. So we had our lease, we had our contract situation, and we're living there, enjoying our time, doing what we're doing there. And coronavirus happens. So you can place the time on when that was and what was going on. But we're there during coronavirus. And if you were an adult during coronavirus, you know there was, what did they call it? It sounded like somebody was dead, like some moratorium or something like that. I don't even know what it was, but on the rent or something like that. It's for the housing market thing. I don't even know if I'm saying the right thing. But pretty much what they were saying was it was like a freeze on the housing market. You couldn't raise rent. You couldn't do the things that landlords usually do. You know what I'm saying? Kicking people out, evicting people and stuff on that too. Because some landlords were trying to take advantage during that time. We had those landlords. So during coronavirus, they're like sending these two guys around to doors, banging on doors. Mind you, the building we lived in mostly had either single women or families with single mothers or some form of that structure. So they got two dudes. Mind you, this is a Jewish landlord company, but they got two black dudes running around. I swear one of them looked like he used to be a fiend or something. Might currently be. Other one looked like he was just a poor decision maker. We're gonna leave it at that. But they banging on these people's doors and pretty much intimidating them into whatever the landlord's will is. They're banging on the door. Landlord said rent is getting raised. That's how it goes. The landlord said sign this to get out. So either they were signing it or they was getting out. Moving trucks was coming, everything, and pretty sure whole time that's illegal. If the whole country's the whole world at that time was in a crisis, and the structure in place sets a standard, that's kind of a predatory move to be taking advantage of your tenants at the time. But they were really only doing that out of with that strong arm, and honestly with them two guys. But of course when they came knocking on our door, we weren't having that because it was both of us in there. So I'm not gonna let them come and tell us what goes and what's not, I tell them, we do business with the landlord company. We don't know you. We haven't seen you before. Are you even employees of the company? Just banging on the door and nearly threatening people to have your way is, one, hella unprofessional. Two, we don't respond well to intimidation tactics, so yeah, that's not gonna work. So we sent them on their way, and that opened up a situation between us and the landlord that unfolded in, some would say, an unpleasant way, but it wasn't too unpleasant for us. They got to threatening, you're gonna have to get out, or you give us the raised rent, and we're like, that's not how you do business. That's suspicious. So we go into our lease agreements to try to look for, whatever the agreement is. We're gonna stick to that. You can't raise rent right now. And we start to notice we have a file of paperwork, and in that file there's multiple leases. And we're like, when did we acquire all these different leases? The answer was during the process of acquiring the apartment, which was a little funky in and of its own. So at that point we realized we have multiple leases for the apartment we're in, an apartment we were originally supposed to get before they bait and switched us at the beginning of the situation, which was also a whole thing that rolled out. But at that current time, we just realized these people have put together multiple leases. We only signed one lease. They took those signatures and moved them across multiple leases pretty much at their own will, which, if you know anything about anything, it's illegal. So we go, that's not right, and you can't move signatures around to just get what you want. But at this point we learned that they're the type of people who will do that. They're the type of company who will do that. They have done that. So we go, that's suspicious. We don't like that. So we let them know we're gonna have to do business a formal way. We're gonna have to do this right. And they jump immediately to, you're gonna hand over the money or you're gonna get out. And we didn't respond to the scare tactic. We go, we're gonna handle business the appropriate way. That rolls on, pretty much all through coronavirus. Around the end of the coronavirus situation, long story short, we haven't done any business. So we haven't given them rent because we didn't come to a new lease agreement. So we weren't gonna just hand over any amounts of money for a certain amount of time and months, and then they come back with, oh yeah, they haven't paid us for months and we've been giving them payments, and they're like, we haven't had a contract with them, or this contract we had that we moved the signatures to says they owe us more money. So we go, okay, since you guys are jumping to we're gonna put you through court and make you pay the legal fees, and you should be scared of court because you aren't gonna be able to lawyer up the way we're gonna lawyer up, and we're gonna put you through the ringer and whatnot. And I go, okay, we're gonna do that. When the time comes, we'll do that, and we'll see how that goes. Time comes along, we accrued, forgot the part where in the midst of that, while we're waiting to go to court, they're doing those shady landlord tactics. Turned our heat off, turned the lights off, turned the power off to the apartment. So we get an extension cord running under the door out into the hallway, plug it in, we're running this stuff in our apartment. We're in the apartment chilling. Lights go out. We're like, what the hell is that? I go out in the hallway, see what it is. A little landlord guy running down the hallway. Little short guy. Red hair, leprechaun. So he was in the hallway unplugging wires. I go, hey, what are you doing? He goes, that's a stupid question. What the fuck you mean it's a stupid question? Let me talk to you one time. Let me talk to you real quick. He starts cadoodling away. I'm like, hold on, what's going on? Because y'all turned our power out. I'm trying to give him the rundown of we knowing the game they're playing, and it's not smart for them to play that game. We're going to document everything. You're taking us to court and doing the wrong practices yourself. That's not really smart. So that's their kind of energy. That's what they're on. Trying to get something. That sounds like a big fish, right? Yeah, I'm gonna get some of those. But we end up in court with them. And the thing also is we go to court with them, right? We end up getting the better of the situation when we go to court with them. They thought because we didn't lawyer up, and they were like, you're not gonna have the resources to lawyer up, and once we win and all of that, we're gonna loop in the legal fees and everything to make you pay those as well, and a whole lot of that. So we get the better of it in court. But because of the way that landlord-tenant court situation is set up, because they filed, the court appearance we made was primarily about what they wanted to accuse us of and get out of us. So us having all that evidence, that they forged the documentation, that they did the thing with the power and whatnot, kind of like it wasn't relevant in that court situation, right? So, mind you, I defended us in court. I was our lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. I didn't go to law school, but I have some sense to me. So if we're in the right, they're in the wrong, and you can learn how to operate within that system, you should be able to handle yourself pretty well in that situation, no? So result ends up being we don't have to give them anything financial, because with all the evidence, they pretty much backed off the situation. They realized, our wrongdoings are coming to light in a way that we might not be able to, dance around. Make sure my mic's still going. I have to make sure. The way they might not be able to dance around, right? So we end up leaving that court situation. We don't have to pay them anything, but we have to leave this situation because we can't continue this living arrangement. They don't want us here. They wanted to kind of steamroll us. We didn't let it happen. They're not happy about it. So we end up getting up out of there. So now we're like, thanks to them in this weird situation, we have to find another living situation. So we start scouring the internet, the apps, how you apartment search these days. You don't roll around knocking on windows and calling the little signs anymore. You go just apps. What's the Willow, Zillow, and everything like that. So yeah, we're scouring through that, and with Corona just happening and the housing market how it is, everyone was either really sketchy or unrealistic as hell. They either want all of your finances, or they want your whole life's history. They want everybody you ever worked for, everywhere you ever lived, your credit score, a blood donation, your mother's last name, a lock of your head, all type of bullshit. And I get it, but I don't. So we're combing through our options. We get to a point where we're like, okay, we get it. Corona just happened. The market is weird. They're trying to protect their investments. They don't want to get looped into somebody they're not sure about, or get stiffed, end up not getting their rent. So we start going, okay, how about we offer these landlords a paid in full lease? We can do a 6-month lease, we can do a year lease, pay it in full. We can renegotiate after that year, release or not, however you feel about it. But let's just get the problem that you're worried about out the way. You get your payment, we get a place to go. They weren't having it. It didn't sound good to them. So now, with that situation having unfolded how it unfolded, with the previous landlord, seeing how the housing market is, seeing how any future landlord is kind of going to be, we're starting to reevaluate our options, wanting to see what else we can get into. We had previously already talked about doing a schoolie situation, where you get a school bus, gut it, remodel it. And both of us are carpenters. That's where we met, becoming carpenters. She's gonna immediately be like, He is the only one who does anything with wood. I don't know who he's talking. Me and her were in school together, carpenters.
He's a different person.
Me and her were in school together. I could listen. I'm gonna put pictures right now. There's gonna be a little picture. I'm gonna put it right here. It's gonna be me and her back in the day. We were in carpentry, both of us. We were number one and number two. Who was number one? Who was number two? Who knows? Ask your mother. Listen, we were there. It was me and her, and we both learned to be carpenters at the same time. So we were gonna do the schoolie situation, gut it, remodel it, get on the road. That was just the concept we had. But at this time, situation is unfolding how it's unfolding, circumstances looking how they're going, and we have a bit of finances and we're trying to see what path we can take with them. And we discussed it, and that became an option for us at the time. What if we got the travel trailer or got something? We didn't know specifically travel trailer. We started looking into it, get an RV of some kind, and actually get on the road. So we talked about it for a while, made a decision, and that's the decision we made. We figured we're already in the midst of moving. We're gonna have to move somewhere. We're gonna have to move. We're gonna have somewhere to live. We don't want to go back into another landlord situation where somebody's in charge of us. Somebody else's decision making decides how our living goes, even though we gave them our finances already. You know, that doesn't seem like a good enough trade to reinvest ourselves in, our time and our resources in. We also weren't at the let's buy a house phase of our lives yet. You know what I'm saying? We're still putting it together. So we decided to do that. Buy a small house on wheels. We can roll around in. We can adventure in. We're both young. I know I look like I'm 35. I've always looked like I'm 35. I'm not. But we're both young. So what better time? We have no kids. So what better time than now to do the exploration part? We have skills. We have a trade. Like I said, we have things we can use anywhere to make a living for ourselves. So that's exactly what we decided to do. We were hunting for a trailer. Took weeks, right? Yeah, it wasn't like we was doing it for months. It was weeks, but it was weeks every day, all day, scouring, looking up listings, looking up people selling, Facebook Marketplace, just hunting.
9 to 5, Monday to Friday.
We put the business hours in, right? Put the business hours in. From 9 to 5, we was locked in. Just messaging people, trying to set up deals, trying to set up meetings and whatnot. We finally contacted a couple who had just bought a new camper and was trying to get rid of their old one. Perfect for us, because most of the people had run down campers that had something wrong with them, trailers that had either the bottoms falling out or the top coming off. Something was wrong with them, and that's why they were selling them. So if it was cheap, it wasn't really usable. If it was usable, it was probably going to be expensive. So we ended up finding them. It was a reasonable price, reasonable condition. We meet up with them, we make the purchase. We now have a trailer. But here's the thing. We have a trailer, right? Did we buy the trailer before I bought the truck?
Yeah.
We had a travel trailer with nothing to pull it, right? So we bought the trailer from a couple in Pennsylvania. We were living in Jersey. My family lives in Brooklyn. That's where I'm from. Born in Brooklyn. Move around wherever I feel like, right? So we buy the trailer. I get my pops. My pops comes with us to PA. My pops and my mom's. They come with us to PA to pick the trailer up. I make the deal with the couple, pay them. You got to do the whole registration situation. It's one state to another state. You got to go through that whole rigmarole, right? So we're doing that. But we're not ready to set off yet. I don't even have a vehicle to pull it yet, right? So what we do is we pull it to where my family's from. Brooklyn. Across the street from the apartment I grew up in. I'm not gonna say the address, that's kind of crazy. But it's in Brooklyn. So I don't know if you're viewing this, where you're viewing it from, right? I don't know how if you know that having a travel trailer, a RV, anything like that is kind of crazy to have in the city. It's not illegal yet or something like that, but they don't like it. They don't like a lot of things that aren't the status quo and benefits the city and makes you pull money out of your pocket and give it directly to the city. They don't like anything like that in the city. So immediately, the neighborhood, I would say, takes a noticing to the fact that there's a travel trailer on this block where it's never been before. The neighbors are like, oh, interesting, cool, that's kind of, you know. Some of them are like, what is that? The older gentleman of the neighborhood took a warm welcoming to what I was doing. They see a younger guy doing something that is generally considered an older pastime, you know what I'm saying? Young people aren't out here a lot. We learned that being out here. So they're being supportive. I got a member of the DOT, the Department of Transportation for New York City, come. He pulls up after work, brings me 2 of these giant street cones with the recycled tire rim thing around the bottom that says DOT on them. He tells me, put them at the front and the back of your camper so, you know, no one will come accidentally swipe you, bump you, because that happens like all the time in the city. So he brings me that, gives me that. I'm like, that's dope. DOT member, you know what? Support from people in my community, but also from like a member of like the city, you know? Also, if you know anything about the city, it's they have something called alternate side parking, alternate side cleaning, sweeping, whatever it's for, but it's alternate sides, which means you have to alternate sides frequently. So if you're parked on one side of the street real early in the morning, if that's the side of the street that has to be swept, you got to move your car from one side of the street to the other side of the street, or they're giving you a ticket. It's this side one day, this side the other day. This side one day, this side the other day. So if you got in late from work last night and you got a parking spot on the side of the street that needs to be cleaned tomorrow, but you don't work early tomorrow, that's too bad, because you're getting up anyway to move your truck unless you want a fine. That's how the city works. They want to dig in your pocket. So with that being said, I have a whole travel trailer, right? First things first, I need a vehicle. Same method for getting the camper. Vehicle hunt, you feel me? Lock in, hunting it down, looking for it. Who got a deal? Who got something with a tow package? Does it have a tow package? Does it have the brakes? Does it have this, that, and that? Does it have a little hitch on the back? Looking for something with tow capacity. We juggle it, we find something that fits the bill hypothetically, but we find out later it barely does. Ford Escape, tricked out in yesteryear, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was old school tricked out. Big rims, like cherry red, like stanced a little bit like that, but it was cool in the motherfucker. I liked it. Real cool. So we get that, and they got a little hitch somebody put on the back. Looked up what they could tow and whatnot, what's the capacity for what they could tow, and it said 3,600. That's what it said from the research I did. So I go out there, looked at it, cool vehicle, get it. I now have something to pull this camper with. Hook it up when I need to, pull it around the street for alternate sides. Well, around the block. 4 corners, go around. It's a school over here, so in the morning, the school buses are out, lined up. You gotta squeeze the camper by there. So I'm doing that, and a member of the sanitation department comes to talk to me. He comes up to me. He's like, hey, I see you moving the camper. I appreciate it and this and that. And he's like, hey, if you see me out here, you don't even really have to move it if you take care of cleaning around it yourself. I go, that sounds like a good idea to me, because moving this big motherfucker is kind of a little bit of a hassle, but I'm doing it to stay within, like, you know, within the law, within whatever, so they can't mess with me. I'm not getting tickets. They're not giving me alternate sides, you know what I'm saying? I'm moving it like I'm supposed to move it. DOT member looked out for me. The sanitation guy, and he was like a white shirt sanitation dude. So he's like somebody's manager. He's got some rank. He's not just like a guy who just cleans up. He drives around in a little sanitation car. He's like checking on the street sweepers to see if they're doing their job in that region. So when I move, he's like, I see you making the effort. Let me extend my hand in the opposite direction. Appreciate that. Works out for us. Time goes on, and what's happening is we're here and we're getting ready. So of course we got to get the vehicle. We want to find out which direction we're going in first, where we're going to set out, where we're going to be. Also, this is our first time owning a trailer, so we're learning everything about it. I'm doing repairs on it. I hooked up front and side cameras on the trailer that's Bluetooth, so when I drive it, I can see behind, because I got a Ford Escape. So it's not even wide, you know what I'm saying? And I can't see out the mirrors behind me. I look in my mirror, all I see is the camper. Can I help you? It's a bird right here. What do you want, buddy? Yep, still recording, all right. You just gonna walk up on me? Crazy. Where was I? So, we're getting ready, getting prepared to go where we're going. We slowly start to receive attention from the NYPD, the precinct down the street from where I grew up. So, me and Tiff are in there. We're doing things. We're doing work on the camper. I'm repainting like certain things. I put down these like tile carpet pieces on the floor so it'll like insulate it, but also make it like cushiony and feel nice under the feet. It's carpet, you know what I'm saying? Who don't like carpet? So we're doing stuff like that. At the time we had one cat, Bartholomew Davis. You dig what I'm saying? That's my son. Bartman Bandit. You know what I'm saying? He got a couple of names. You've been thugging and bugging with us for a long time now. Big man. Now. But I was building something in there for him, like a little housing thing. Had a litter box on one side, a little room for him on the other side to chill in. So, you know, pretty much making the space travel ready for him to be with us too. So from time to time while we're in there, I hear a knock on the door. I come to the window, it's the police. I don't know how y'all get down or what your experience with the police is, but I don't open the door for the police whenever they come knocking, because generally they take advantage of that door getting open. Whether you're in the right or the wrong, whether they have any validity or not, you get to giving them space to reach, they're gonna reach. So they get to knocking, I get to talking through the window. Can I help you? Hey, can we talk to you for a second? We talking right now, what's up? Out here? For what? You need something? What do you need? Well, this shouldn't be here. Why? We're just letting you know this shouldn't be here. For what reason? Am I breaking the law? Like, you're gonna give me a ticket? What's the reasoning it can't be parked here? Oh, well, it's not supposed to be here like this. You keep saying it's not supposed to, but I'm also asking you as an officer or whatever you see your title as, enforcing the law. What is this law? What am I doing wrong? And then also let me know. I'm saying this to them. Let me know so I can right whatever I'm wrong. And you just being like, this not supposed to be here, but not telling me why or anything else. That's not how policing works. You just don't give the random public a command and they're just supposed to refacilitate their life and what they're doing based on you being like, this is not supposed to be like this. Because I'm looking into it. Before we even brought it over there, looked up the laws. You can't have it for the certain amount of time in a certain place parked for. I think it's a certain amount of days. I think it's like 2 or 3 days. A certain amount of hours. I think it was 48 or 72 or something like that. But mind you, it's alternate sides. So it's this day, that day, this day, that day, this day. So I can't have this trailer in one spot for too long without somebody coming to give me a fine. They gave me the cones, the not the DOT guy, the sanitation guy is telling me it's cool, keep it clean around there. But when the police coming around and they giving those tickets, they're not going to stop and ask the sanitation guys if it's cool if the trailer is right here. They're going to give a ticket. So if they could give a ticket, they would have. They would have taken every opportunity to give a ticket. That's how the city works. They don't pass up an opportunity to get in your pocket. So if they could have given me a ticket for being in the wrong, they would have. They never did. They visited multiple times. Different times, either trying to, I don't know if they're trying to catch us off guard or if they're watching us and just waiting for the right time to come and try to, like, I don't know, intimidate us or something. But every time they're not telling me what's wrong, and they're also not giving me a ticket. They're not citing me for anything. And you know, if they could, they would. So I'm like, explain to me what it is. One of the last times we had the similar conversation through the doorway, well, through the window. And as they go to walk away, I open the door, hop out, boom, close it behind me. I asked Tiff, as soon as I hop out, close the door right behind me. So I hop out, jump out into the street. Tiff locks the door behind me. I walk up to him. Hey, y'all need something? What's going on? He goes, oh yeah, you're not supposed to be here, this, that, and that. And I said, why? I talked to a couple of officers that haven't been able to give me any relevant information. I'm trying to figure out what the issue is. He's like, oh, well, it's not supposed to be here. There's this, that, and that. I'm like, hey, I pulled out my phone. I'm showing him the law. I'm like, it says this amount of time. I move it around. My vehicle's right there. You know what I'm saying? Hooked up. We move it around. What's the issue? This officer goes, oh, well, if within the rights, we shouldn't have any reason to bother you. I'm like, right. I'm asking you if there's anything I should be doing a different way or something like that. And if you can't tell me anything, we should be good. And he's like, all right, well, yeah, we should be good. Have a nice night. So I'm like, okay. Time goes on. One day randomly, no knock. I hear brakes, squeaky brakes. I look out the window of the camper, big ass NYPD tow truck. NYPD tow truck operator uniform, walking back and forth, scoping my camper. I hop out. What's good with you? What's the issue? He get the mumbling and like nonchalant, like, oh. I'm like, oh, you're acting strange. What's up with, what are you here for? Oh, I have to tow this camper. I'm like, for what? I'm just told that that's what you know, the whole rigmarole. I'm following orders, that situation. So there's also another traffic officer. He's like jacket, full, you know, get up. They all got uniform on, but it's different flavor of uniforms and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So he's over there. I go talk to him. Tiff has video and pictures of me talking to that guy. We're standing outside the camper. She's inside the camper. I'm like, what's the issue here? You got this tow truck out here. I have 0 tickets. You weren't able to find me, cite me, anything. There's not a ticket on here. There's nothing's out of date, overdue, nothing. I'm not in front of a fire hydrant. What's your reasoning for towing me? He goes, I don't know. They sent him here. I'm here with him. What we can do is, if that's what you're saying, if that's the truth, then there shouldn't be an issue. Let me call the precinct and ask them. I'm like, cool, do that, because I don't see how you can just take my property and y'all haven't given me a ticket. Y'all haven't been able to cite me. All y'all been doing is showing up and saying I'm not just supposed to off your word. And that's not how the law works. You just don't, because it's also not like I'm just like something small, minor, and inconvenient. You know what I'm saying? It's a big, huge thing, inconvenient. I'm planning something. I'm trying to direct my life in a certain way, get a certain thing going, get on the road, and you're like, oh no, you just can't do that. I get y'all don't understand what's going on. This might not be a lifestyle or a thing y'all have seen often in the city, but just because you're not familiar with it doesn't mean that just doesn't get to happen here. So if we have something within the law we could work with and talk about, let's talk about that. They had nothing. They just used that same muscle they've always used whenever they want to abuse the public. So I'm standing there with the guy, and he's like, oh, I don't see why it would be an issue if you move it. And at the time, like my vehicle's out here, you know what I'm saying? I don't see what the issue is. So we're standing there, me and him having a calm, cool conversation. He's like, hey, I thought it should be cool. While he's waiting, well, what seemed like we're waiting for a response from the precinct, Big Fish, response from the precinct shows up. And by the precinct, I mean the captain of the precinct and like 10 to 15 officers. I don't know why they would call backup like that for a situation involving the towing of a vehicle, besides the fact that they realized or knew and have been watching and knowing who owns this camper. You might not be able to tell right now, but I'm 6'3", about 350 pounds. I'm a big guy. So they pull up with about 10, 15 cops. I'm like, the fuck is this? They come out swarming and shit. The captain's like, we're taking this camper. I'm like, for what? I'm going through it with him. What's the legality of it? And he's like, I don't have time for this. We're taking this camper. I'm like, and see, that's that bullshit. That's that abuse of power. That's foul what you doing. You're acting like I'm some savage criminal who's out here doing like a whole bunch of foul shit. I have a travel trailer. That's my only crime, owning a travel trailer. But he's abusing the shit out his power. We're taking it. I'm not trying to hear any of that. You should have moved it when we said moved it. I did move it. No, we have witnesses that said it hasn't moved. Where's my tickets? Where's my fines? Where's the alternate size things? Where's your evidence? Apparently they don't need evidence. So I'm like, see, that's that bullshit. And then to stretch his abuse of power, he goes, now give me your ID so I can write you a bunch of summons. I go, I'm not giving you anything. One, this isn't a traffic stop. This is a parking violation where you don't even have a violation. Plus, y'all been watching me. Y'all know who I am. I already talked to one of y'all members and showed him my ID and been discussing with him since before y'all got here. So I'm not unidentified. Y'all know exactly where I am. My address on my ID, my residence, is literally right across the street. I live over there. This is my vehicle that I parked here. What's the problem? He goes, give me your ID or we're arresting you. Correction. He goes, show me your ID or we're arresting you. I go, okay. Pull my wallet out. I got a wallet that got the little window in it for the ID. Pull it out. Show it to him. See? Colleague Davis, 2280. My bad. I'm about to say my address. Colleague Davis, my information. Point to the address across the street and like, see? Everything's everything. Y'all know exactly who I am. Y'all came here to take my vehicle. Y'all know who I am. Y'all been watching me. Y'all came with this level of backup because y'all know exactly who I am. Put my wallet back in my pocket. This dickhead goes, all right, come on. All these motherfuckers swarm you.
I don't got that.
That we don't have on video, but the dude who owns the juice shop across the street, well, on the same side as the apartment, but across the street from where the camper was, it's on the corner. It's a juice shop, opened up recently at the time. That was years ago now, right? But I saw him recording it, and it was an older woman of the neighborhood recording it, because she came to me after the situation and was like, oh, they were wrong for doing you like that. I was like, shit, I know it. But yeah, they rushed me 10, 15 deep. Rush me, swarm in. Reflexes kick in. I lean into the crowd, lean on them. Cause you're not about to just knock me over. You know what I'm saying? You're not about to have me on my back and shit. Nah. So I lean into the crowd. We come to like a standstill. We're leaning on each other. They all pushing in, trying to get their piece of whatever they trying to do. And I'm pushing them back, looking at all of them like, how far is this going to escalate? So I go, I'm feeling them. I'm feeling the weight. I'm feeling how much of them I'm holding back. And I'm like, they're not that strong. I could put them through it. You know what I'm saying? I could put them through a little something. But then, of course, common sense go, and then they gonna beat the shit out you with their utility belts. So that's exactly what's gonna happen. They're gonna turn into Batman. They're gonna pull out the utility belt. They're gonna use the mace. They're gonna use the club. They're gonna tase me. And that's the first thing the captain said. Y'all pulled up all tough, and I don't got time for this, and I'm not hearing anything, and you better do what I say, or... But as soon as any type of non-cooperation, don't make us tase you. I don't want to have to tase you. Don't make us tase you. Why couldn't you just grab me? Why couldn't you just arrest me, put the cuffs on? Because you knew you couldn't do that in the first place. And that's what this is all about. Show of power to somebody who you know is physically stronger than you and doing something out of your scope of regularity. You're not used to this. This not familiar to you. This camper is something that you might have thought about getting, but because you live in the city and you feel restricted, you haven't done it yourself. But why are you trying to take that out on me? But then immediately once you use a show of force and you realize I have my own show of force, all of a sudden it's don't make us tase you. You wanted to tase me. You wanted to do this. This is your doing. So I weigh my options. Mind you, I can see in some of the officers' eyes, they don't want to be doing this. I could tell this captain's a dickhead. One of the chicks also tried to like do this pleading thing, like, come on, just work with him and we can do this thing, you know, trying to play like the sweet role and shit. And I don't like that shit either. You with them, you know what I'm saying? You not with me. I know who with me, and it's not you. Go ahead with that shit over there. As soon as he said get him, they got me, you know what I'm saying? So all that sweet shit, fuck all that sweet shit. You ain't tricking nobody. So yeah, they rush me. They rush me, they running down. We have this standoff, and I go, alright, I'm not gonna escalate this to where they gotta start using clubs on me, because I also know myself, and if they get to really trying to hurt me, I'm gonna get to really trying to hurt them. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to really have this turn into a situation. I'm not trying to be the next black man on the news. They're not about to really do me how they really want to do me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh, let me chill out now. So I relax. And when I relax, they get to do their little push. And they push me into the gate. It's a gate for a park right there. And they push me to the gate. And they're pushing, but they're also not like working collectively. So they're pushing me, but they want to turn me around and put the cuffs on me. So they're trying to push me to the gate. So I'm kind of just looking at them now like figure this shit the fuck out. So they go do the whole turnaround situation. I turn around. They get to trying to bend arms and shit. One, I'm resisting against the bend of the arm because you don't need to bend my arm up to put the cuffs together behind my back. They put 2 links of cuffs together. Like I said, I'm a big dude behind my back. They put 2 links together. Dude's trying to bend my arm. 2 things. I'm strong and flexible. So you're bending my arm behind my back and it's not working. But you also like, you're prolonging the situation. And the more you're trying to do this jerking thing with my arm, the more it looks like me and you are struggling. Which means the more time another officer has the time to figure out and go, oh, I could do this to him in the meantime. They be punching people in their shit for resisting and whatnot, and whole time it's a motherfucker struggling with some handcuffs. So I turn around and I'm like, if you gonna put the cuffs on, put them shits on. And he looks at me and he's kind of like, oh, like you noticed I'm doing this? Like, yes, motherfucker, I noticed you back there doing extra shit. It don't hurt. You're not that strong. You need to stop. So he puts the cuffs on. They behind my back. So now I'm like, okay, these motherfuckers going all the way there with the shit. Tiff's still inside. Bart's still inside. So I'm like, hey, before y'all start doing all this extra shit, my peoples is in there. So y'all need to chill out. You know what I'm saying? They immediately go over to the camper. Hey, you need to come out. This, that, and boom, bap, bap. I go, hey, take me over there. And I keep forgetting traffic officer with the jacket, the one I was talking to first, he's there on this side. And he's kind of like, oh shit, I didn't know it was gonna unfold like this, brother. Me neither. So he's there, one of the officers, short, like Hispanic guy. And I'm like, oh, take me over there. So the guy is like, you know what, bring him over to the camper. So we walking over there, and I swear to you, this little Hispanic guy is so like wrapped up in my arm, like hip to hip, body to body, rib to rib. And I'm walking over there, and I'm like, hey, bro, you want to get the fuck up on me? Because, like, you kind of strange right now. What the fuck is all this? And he like, oh, no, I'm just doing my job. I'm like, bro, you think I'm about to run with these handcuffs on? Or, like, you not see my size? I'm not the type of individual, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are you being weird? So he kind of, like, gives me some space, but kind of being like, I'm just doing my job. I don't know if that's going to get you the raise you want, but you get the fuck off of me like that. Y'all got me. Like, the fuck? And it's not even a real arrest. There was no violence. There was no, like, y'all just knew my size and knew if y'all wanted to abuse y'all power, y'all had to come deep. So they did. So they walked me over to the camper. Mind you, I'm making suggestions and making requests, and they walking me around and shit. I'm like, walk me over there. These niggas like, okay, let's take him over there. So we walk up to the camp, and I'm like, Tiff. She comes to the window. I'm like, hey, get Bart, call my moms, tell them what's going down, come out. She does that. She come out with Bart in the kennel and whatnot. They take me to the car. They take me to the precinct. Later on, I get to see the video of them fucking up my trailer. Because, you know, trailers have, like, legs underneath that stabilize them. So this one, you crank down, and they was down in the street. Instead of figuring out how a trailer works and figuring out how to actually tow it, these motherfuckers just lift it up with the legs down. Break the legs, dig into the ground, they cracking the asphalt, dragging it down the street. All for what? No tickets on a camper. I'm not violent, I don't got a criminal history. Y'all did this shit for nothing. Took me to the precinct, didn't fingerprint me, didn't book me in, no mug shot, none of that goofy shit. Literally just put me in the back in like the furthest cell for like a couple of hours, and I was just back there not knowing what the fuck going on, so they could take my shit. Then they released me. No nothing, no paperwork, no evidence of the arrest or nothing. So in essence, that was a kidnapping. They set it up, knew that I wasn't going to let them take it, knew they didn't have the actual right method of taking it, so they knew the plan was to escalate it. Escalate it, but you didn't escalate it within any reason. You escalated it to, you didn't show me your ID, so now I have to arrest you for an offense that wasn't a valid offense. So, but then didn't even try to hit me with none of that. What they did was, now at that time, I didn't mention this part. After I told them a couple of times that there was no valid reason to give me a ticket or anything like that, at times when we weren't around, that's how you know they was watching us. When we were there, they come do the knock-knock, trying to do the intimidation thing. At the time when we weren't there, whether we was in the house or we was somewhere else, that's when a ticket showed up on the camper. Now, mind you, I did say they weren't able to give me a ticket. And at the time when they came to get me, there was no tickets on the camper. That's because the tickets they tried to give us were invalidated by the city. They put it on there. I informed the city of the ticket and was like, they gave me this, that, and that, and this and that. They did it 2 times. And both times, the ticket failed in the system because it wasn't a valid ticket. They were just literally trying shit because they were unfamiliar with this. The ticket failed 2 times. There's no ticket on the trailer. That day, they tried to give me that same ticket again. When Tiff came out, they rushed in there, right? Got to looking through our shit. Illegal search, no warrant, no reason. Found a taser in there. Mind you, tasers are legal in New York City now. They had to go through laws, change a couple things, and get everything sorted out and organized out. Because people, you live in a crazy city. You kind of need to protect yourself. They not cool with pocket knives still, but with tasers, they've loosened up the laws around. So the taser was in there, a little handheld taser for Tiff. We about to go traveling. We gonna be on the road. We gonna be out here. She gonna need something too. You know what I'm saying? I'm with her, but if I'm not, somebody gonna need something. You know what I'm saying? A little buzz or a little poke is gonna have to happen. So they go in there, find that, they take that. Mind you, I'm in the car, cuffs on me before they even go in there. So they couldn't even say that it was for the taser. Also, the taser's not illegal. So those are the 3 tickets I end up getting, and they're on the camper. So when I get back to the camper at the tow yard where they took it, that's when I get the tickets. The ticket for the parking that they tried 2 times already, the ticket for the taser, and then a ticket for public urination. Now let me tell you how they spun that. There's holding tanks on a travel trailer. One for what's called gray water, which is like shower water and the water that comes down your sink. Kitchen and bathroom sink. Then there's the black water, which is what come down your toilet. You know what I'm saying? So there's 2 different tanks for that underneath, and they hold liquid. When they decided to lift it without the proper precautions, they spilled some of the liquid out of the tanks. And that's how I got public urination. Because it was stored inside the travel trailer. It was stored inside the travel trailer, and they lifted it and spilled it while they were towing it. So that's me publicly urinating somehow. The traffic ticket, the parking ticket that they tried to give again, failed in the system again, so that one dropped. The taser ticket dropped. So by the time I end up going to court, the only ticket left is the public urination. So y'all towed my trailer and arrested me for public urination that wouldn't have happened if y'all didn't tow my trailer and spill the shit. How does that make sense? So I go through this whole situation, gotta pay a shit ton of money to get the camper back. All type of rigmarole. In New York State, the law is you don't have to have designated insurance for a travel trailer or a vehicle of that nature that doesn't have its own engine and gets pulled by another vehicle. While it's in the NYPD tow pound, they're like, any vehicle that comes in and out of here has to have insurance on it. I'm like, that's not the law. I can show you the law. Just like the police in New York City, they're like, we don't care what you're talking about. Our policy is, policy does not trump law. But that's how they moving in the city. So they're doing this whole back and forth rigmarole bullshit. So I'm like, I'm not about to go and enact a whole insurance policy when I don't have to by law. So I go my way, back and forth to the DMV, tow yard, DMV, tow yard, DMV, tow yard. Days and days of this shit, weeks of this shit. Whole time they charging me for every day my shit is in there because they took my shit illegally. We get the camper back. Thanks to my uncle, who had a situation going on at the Navy Yard right next to the tow yard, I was able to put it over there for storage for the time being until we finish getting everything together to get on the road. Another crazy loop in the story. We're at the NYPD tow pound and whatnot. Guess who comes out the back of the motherfucker supervising in the office in the back? The same traffic officer with the jacket that was talking to me regular, like, oh, it should be fine, it should be cool. I see him, he sees me, he like, what happened? I'm like, motherfucker, you tell me what happened. You said it was gonna be cool. You said it was gonna be straight. I was talking to you, we was chopping it up, having a good time. Then the fucking Ninja Turtles pop up. Get to putting their hands on people and shit. So we in there talking it out. He helping me too. Like, he like, you need this and that information and this, that, and that. And he playing it cool and everything. I'm like, I mean, it's cool, but you on their side. You know what I'm saying? You work for them. You in the traffic element of it. So you out there sometimes. You in here sometimes. I mean, I see where you, like, your rank is and all that. So you really couldn't do nothing about the situation. So it is what it is. But after all that, we got everything back. They fucked up a nigga finances, having to pay all that goofy shit. I didn't sue them. I feel like I should. That was a little while ago. I don't know if I still can. Shit kind of crazy. But after that, we got the camper together. We fixed what they broke. Had to take the legs all the way off and get like these jack stands you gotta manually put together.
Come back out with the money.
We going now.
Okay.
So we get the camper, we put it all together, and we go, you know what, fuck the NYPD and how they moving and whatnot. This city isn't even built for what we want to do anyway. We leaving this motherfucker for a reason. So we get our shit together, we find where we want to be, we gather everything, we load it up, and we head the fuck out. And then halfway there, my truck blew the fuck up. But that's a story for another time. Tune back in, subscribe, follow your boy. More stories, more scenes. I don't know if you've seen it. I've been getting distracted because these fish been slapping around back here, and I'm trying to get some of that. So maybe you might see a fishing video that might be in the same scene, same outfit. It's probably about to happen right now. Thanks for watching.